Hello, friends. Slept like a log last night. I woke up in the fireplace. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. When Henry saw Mary's happy face, he finally understood that everything was great. Mary looked around and after this turned into Henry's side. She smiled and said that the house was beautiful. Henry closed the distance and kissed her. After that, it started to rain. It's so amazing, Mary said and looked in the window. Henry clearly saw how great it started. Yes, he and Mary would live in this beautiful house. Life was just starting. He knew how important is the beginning. The good start would create a nice ending. The bad start would bring terrible life. I want to go to the balcony. Mary smiled. I will come to you soon, Henry said. Mary went on the second floor, but Henry stayed on the first floor. Of course, he loved Mary and wanted to make her happy, but Henry wanted to be alone. The loneliness desire attracted Henry. It was coming and nothing would want wrong. The desire would come and quickly go away. He closed eyes and listened to rain sound. It was so relaxing. Suddenly every bad thought disappeared and only rain sound stayed. At this time he heard screaming. Henry immediately opened eyes. The first thought said that Mary was in danger. For a second, and he clearly realized how stupid the idea was. First of all, the screaming voice was different. It was not Mary's sound, maybe some crazy man was screaming. Also, Mary was on the second floor and the voice came from the forest. Henry resolved one problem, but the second was still there. Whose voice destroyed his relaxation? Who wanted to destroy his good mood? Henry looked in the window. Only rain and wind. He once again heard screaming. It was a human voice, but Henry did not understand. Someone had pain or some psycho was very angry. Henry tried to see someone, but only trees. Yes, the wind was moving trees. He did not want to believe that some crazy man was running in this forest and screaming. This place was Henry's new home. He only needed to be very good, nothing more. Because of this, Henry wanted only silence. Suddenly Psycho started screaming and tried to destroy Henry's world. And Henry realized that Mary would be very scared. All this time Henry only one moment recalled Mary. All this time Mary was on the second floor, alone and hearing this creepy voice. He quickly went to the second floor. The girl's face was white. She came close to Henry and said, "Someone was screaming." "I know, but everything is okay." Henry kissed her. "It was only screaming. Maybe the animal wanted to hunt another animal?" Henry lied. He wanted that Mary felt good and only because of this Henry lied. "No, I saw a human," Mary said. "The human was screaming?" Henry asked, but he knew the answer. "Yes, someone was screaming," Mary answered. "I clearly saw the black figure." "I'm gonna check," Henry said. Mary did not want to let go of Henry, but the boy entered the huge balcony. Mary followed him. Henry looked at the forest. No one was screaming and the black figure was gone. Again, only rain and wind. Someone was running in the forest. Mary said, "I believe in you." Henry touched her black hair. He looked up and saw black clouds. He thought that clouds did not want to go. They wanted to stay here forever. Henry did not become angry. He and Mary loved black clouds, rain, and wind. The problem was that the scary creatures also like such things, and maybe they were here. Henry closed his eyes and tried to get rid of stupid things. When he opened eyes, scared Mary asked, "Are you feeling bad?" Henry did not like this situation. He was a boy and needed to protect his girlfriend, but Henry closed eyes and Mary thought that her boyfriend was feeling bad. "No, I'm okay," Henry answered. Mary wanted to get back to the city. Soon the rain stopped and they leave the house. The couple entered the forest. Henry only needed 20 minutes and they would be at the bus station. Mary would go to the city and she will be okay. Mary did not want to leave Henry here, but the boy said that his house needed protection. Mary wanted to say something, but they heard screaming from behind. The couple stopped and looked back. "We need to walk much faster," Henry said. They started quickly walking, but after a few seconds, the screaming voice came from them ahead. Someone was running. "Run, Mary," Henry said to the girl, but they ran together. When the couple entered the house and locked the door, rain once again began. Mary sat down on the chair and looked down. Henry looked in the window, but again nothing. Some crazy guy really bothered them. Henry very strongly wanted to kill the stranger. "We need to call the police," Mary said. "And what we will say?" Henry asked. "We heard screaming. Police officer, please catch some crazy guy." Mary understood that the idea was really stupid. They started talking about the stranger and time went so quickly. Suddenly the couple realized that night already came. They went to sleep. In the night when rain and wind were much stronger, Henry looked at Mary's black figure and realized that he lost the battle. He was a man and needed to protect women, but what Henry did? Nothing. He was afraid and could not protect the woman. If in the morning Mary would go to the city and never would back, Mary will say that her boyfriend was zero. He could not defend one girl. The years will go away and Henry would live in the forest alone. Mary will find a strong man and become a happy woman. And why would this happen? Because of some idiot who is running in the forest and screaming. Henry knew that he loves Mary. He loves this amazing girl and brought the house not only for himself but for Mary. Yes, he would protect Mary. Suddenly Mary opened her eyes. The lightning struck everything and the stranger's voice attacked the house. Mary screamed and started crying. "I'm afraid," she said. "Don't be afraid." Henry touched her hair and kissed. "I'm here." After half an hour Mary fell asleep, but Henry could not sleep. No, he did not want to sleep. Henry was waiting morning to find the crazy man and kill the idiot. The whole night was rainy, but it stopped in the morning. Henry stood up. He looked, Mary. The girl was still sleeping. Henry went into the forest. He walked and thought about what had happened recently. Henry recalled a screaming voice, but this morning was so beautiful. He relaxed and tried to forget bad thoughts. After a few minutes, he went to the valley and Henry saw the lake. The stranger was standing near the lake. Maybe this was a crazy man? Henry closed the distance and got ready for a fight. The stranger turned back and said, "Good morning." "Hello." Henry was surprised. He thought that the stranger would attack him, but man was a very positive person. "It's a beautiful morning." The stranger smiled. "My name is Daniel." "My name is Henry." Daniel looked at the lake and started talking about this beautiful nature. Henry understood that Daniel's whole life was living here. Because of this, Henry asked, "Is this place safe to live?" "Of course." Daniel was surprised. "This forest is the most amazing and safe place in the world." Suddenly Daniel looked at Henry very strangely. He turned left and said, "Oh, I know." "What do you know?" Henry asked. "You heard screaming." Daniel smiled. "Also, someone was running in the forest." "Yes, you are right," Henry said. "Who is this guy?" "Don't worry about this." Daniel looked at Henry. "He is my father. He is old and became crazy. Yesterday my father escaped from the house and the whole day I was searching for him. The night began and he was still running, but I catch him. Right now he is in the house." Henry became happy. He and Mary so much worried about the crazy man, but it found out that Daniel already caught his father. He was only an old man and nothing more. They continued talking about the forest. Henry told him that he bought the house. He and his girlfriend Mary were living in that amazing place. Daniel liked Henry's choice. "You are right, brother," Daniel said. "You chose an amazing place." After this, Henry went back to the house. He saw that Mary was scared. "Where have you been?" she asked. "I thought that crazy man killed you." "Don't worry." Henry smiled and told everything. Mary started smiling. She was happy because it turned out that the whole story was some kind of stupidity. Henry said that not only a crazy man was done, but they had an amazing neighbor. Daniel was a really good guy. They were talking and smiling. After that, Mary made popcorn, and they watched a horror movie. The whole day was amazing. They really tired, and when night came, the couple understood that sleep would be the best thing. Mary quickly fell asleep, but Henry wanted to be focused. Daniel told that everything was okay, but if something bad would happen? Finally, he closed eyes and maybe in a few minutes Henry would sleep, but he heard some voice. Maybe the bottle has broken? Mary opened her eyes and asked, "What happened?" Henry looked at the scared girl and answered, "I will check." He stood up. Suddenly they heard screaming and footsteps. Someone was running. A few seconds and the stranger would enter the room, but Henry locked the door. "I'm afraid," Mary said. "Hey, I'm here." Henry smiled. The stranger wanted to break the door. Henry took a shotgun and screamed, "Go away, or I'm gonna kill you." Henry and Mary heard a wolf howl. No way, this could not be the wolf. But the voice. It was a wolf howl. Henry took the iPhone and called Daniel. When he ended talking, scared Mary asked, "What did he say?" "His father escaped. Daniel would come here and catch the old man. Everything will be okay." After 15 minutes, they saw lights and heard car sounds. They looked out the window. The car stopped and Daniel got out of the car. "Excuse me," he said. "I will take the old man in the asylum and no one will bother you and your girlfriend." "Thanks, Daniel." Henry smiled. Daniel got into the car and went away. Henry went to the first floor. He locked the door and saw a broken bottle. After this, he went to the second floor and the couple fell asleep. In the morning, Mary said she hoped the crazy old man's story was over. They heard the iPhone sound. Henry answered. Daniel wants us to come to his house. Henry said. It is an amazing idea. Mary screamed. Daniel is a good guy and we will have a friend. Henry also liked this idea. Of course, he wanted a lonely life, but 1 or 2 friends are always good. He thought that Daniel was an amazing friend. He stopped his own father and took an old man in the asylum. Henry needed to respect Daniel. In the evening they entered the forest. After 15 minutes they saw the big and old house. The house is a little bit creepy, Mary said. But Daniel is a very positive person. Henry smiled. Of course, Mary agreed. Daniel opened the door and smiled. They entered the house. There was delicious food, but the house was dark. Daniel said that he knew people did not like darkness, but he loved it. He loved darkness because it always remembered Daniel the silence. Henry understood how strange and interesting a person was Daniel. Everyone sat down on the chair and started eating. Daniel told many funny stories about his childhood. It seemed that when his father became crazy, Daniel really suffered. Mary thought how good person was Daniel and maybe how hard was to live here alone. Right now you're living here alone, Mary said. Maybe it is hard for you. I'm living alone? Daniel smiled. No, my brother lives with me. Henry did not know that Daniel had a brother and said, it is very good. My brother is a boring person. Daniel admitted. Mary, please open the door and call my brother. Daniel showed the door on the right side of the room. Mary stood up, came to the door and opened it. Mary screamed. Henry immediately came to her. In the room was skeleton. Confused Henry looked at Daniel and asked, it is a joke. What is here happening? No, it's reality. Daniel answered. 1 year ago I killed my brother. 5 years ago I killed my father. But your father is in the asylum. Mary screamed. No, he is dead. Daniel stood up. I was running in the forest and screaming. It is my fun game. The story of a crazy father is a lie. But why? Henry asked. Why you did all this? Because I'm a hunter. Daniel screamed. I'm the werewolf. The couple scared and ran away. It was already night. Mary wanted to get back to the house very quickly. She looked back but nothing. Maybe Daniel was still in the house. No, it could not be true. Mary knew that Daniel would follow them. In the daylight everything was beautiful. The forest and trees were amazing, but darkness changed everything. Mary knew that danger was coming from every place. She needed to be focused on. Suddenly she realized one thing. She did not know where they were going. Where are we going? Mary asked. At the bus station. Henry answered. You will go to the city and I will end this story. Mary wanted to stay with him, but Henry took her to the bus station. Mary left the forest and Henry went back to the house. He knew that Daniel was only a crazy boy. Because of this Henry took a shotgun and started waiting. He was very angry. Henry did everything. He wanted that Mary felt good. Mary needed to see that Henry was a strong man. And what Daniel did? He appeared and spoiled everything. Daniel humiliated Henry. He showed Henry like a fool. Henry, come on. He heard screaming. I came with you. Henry looked in the window and saw Daniel. The asylum will be an excellent place for you. Henry screamed. Really? Daniel smiled. The grave will be an excellent place for you. Hey, smiley boy. Henry said. Stop acting like an idiot. Henry stepped outside and aimed his shotgun. The anger attacked him. Henry wanted to end Daniel's life. He shot and Daniel fell down. Game over, you psycho. He said and turned back. Suddenly Henry heard a smile and turned back. Daniel stood up and screamed. I'm the werewolf, you coward. And he started the transformation. 1 second and Henry understood everything. He did not believe in such things, but the werewolf stood before him. Henry entered the house and locked the door. After 1 minute the transformation ended. The werewolf broke the door and started searching Henry. He saw that the sofa was burning. The werewolf closed the distance and suddenly felt that Henry was standing behind. Daniel turned back and attacked Henry. The werewolf bit him but Henry shot the monster. Daniel crashed to the sofa. The fire immediately attacked him. The werewolf was screaming, but after a few minutes, his life ended. In the morning Mary came to Henry. She was knocking in the door, but no one opened it. After this Mary returned to the city and called Henry, but no one answered. Mary tried to contact Henry for many weeks, but nothing. Henry is living alone. He has no girlfriend. Instead, Henry has a big forest and the night, but his best friend is a full moon. Every night Henry is turning into the werewolf and running in the forest.